man, we're live in the building. Welcome to my very first episode of the Chela's Experience. So much has been going on in the world today, and I can't wait to give you guys my personal insight on what's been going on. So if you've been listening to my Instagram lives, you guys are very familiar with my take on subjects. I'm a little bit brash, but stay tuned. And just give me room to be me. Because, Chela's going to be Chela regardless. And at this point, I feel like we have to be honest. We have to be raw. The world is changing on a daily basis. And with that being said, the best thing you could do is, be yourself. So I had a birthday. My birthday was Sunday. Yes, I'm a Leo, August 14th. I won't give you the year. It's not your business. But I'm a grown-ass woman. Hence this beautiful bottle of wine that was given to me on my birthday by a friend. So, we got a lot of things to talk about today. And I just wanted to share with you guys, a lot has been going on since the overturn of Roe versus Wade, and I feel like right now the world is in a space where we're starting to see the aftermath of, these poor decisions that these politicians are making. Of course, there's money involved. There's always money involved. When there isn't, when is there not money involved? Always money involved. But with that being said, the bigger issue here is that women feel like they've taken a back seat after waiting so many years just to have the right to do something, let alone get an abortion, right? Roe versus Wade is about 50 years ago or something like that. 50 years later, they decided to overturn it. I got to give a side of that one. Because, the thing about overturning Roe versus Wade, I mean, the amount of women out there that are going to suffer, there's already been cases where abortions are absolutely necessary. I don't feel like putting a woman through emotional strain is fair to her body, to her mind, and it's not fair to the kid. And the reason why I say that it's not fair to the kid is because when you think about it in entirety, right? I grew up with a single mom, 3 kids. My mother was a single parent. Dad was in and out. Typical urban situation. And I hate to say that, but it's true. It's not very common that Black people, brown people, have, a full family, like mom, dad, kids. Most of the time, it's either mom with kids, dad is in and out, dad is not there at all, or dad with kids. And you don't really see dads take on that responsibility as often as we would like it to be, but that's neither here nor there. Moving forward, when I think about the amount of women that have children out of that momentary love, that very, very temporary heat in the moment, I'm gonna go have this baby, I love this man, we're gonna be great, we're gonna do well together, and next thing you know, mama's baby, daddy's baby, that's just how it goes. And the kicker for me is when I think about the amount of women that have children, and then when the relationship fails, they tend to project those feelings onto the children. I don't think a child being born even under those circumstances is fair. And you can say what you want, like, oh, the parents should know better, it's not right, the woman should take responsibility, take accountability, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? Life happens. Life fucking happens. And when life happens, how the fuck do you expect a woman to just chalk it up and say, hey, I gotta love my kid, I gotta do everything I can? You know what kind of weight that is to carry? I don't think a lot of people understand single motherhood. So motherhood is one thing, but single motherhood, you're playing with fire there. You have to be really strong mentally and physically to withstand, a lot of the impact that comes with being alone raising a child. Okay? We're going to get a little tipsy today. You know what I'm saying? You had your knuckles cracking. It's going down, right? So, yeah. With that being said, I feel like entirely that, they're not thinking about every aspect of the word. I've been seeing more and more women killing themselves and their children. And I read an article where a woman, she threw herself and her babies out the window. She said that she didn't feel the world was worthy enough of the presence of her and her kids. Now, mind you, of course, that's a symbol of mental health. But with that being said, if you know that there's women out there like that suffer from mental health, why put them in a space of impending doom? Because that's what it feels like. When they feel like they have no options, they end up moving into a space where they start thinking poorly, and they might very well hurt themselves and their children. Raising a child is not like a walk in the park. It isn't, and it never will be. And I think that people, they greatly misunderstand what it's like to be with a child that's crying all day, needs your assistance. This kid is like pressed, wants attention. You have some women that don't know how to raise children. There's no handbooks on this shit. There's no fucking handbooks on being a fucking parent. And with that fucking being said, politicians, mind your fucking business. You know why? Because you guys are about, 100 fucking years old? That panel of fucking politicians, that panel of judges that made the decision on Roe fucking versus Wade was 12 people. 3 of them were fucking black, 2 of them were women, and the rest were old white men. Who the fuck gave y'all the fucking right to make that choice? I don't even know if you guys ever been through even a third, not even a drop of my experiences as a single mom, let alone the rest of the fucking United States that you guys are voting on. Because you're voting for every woman in the whole 53 states. What are we, 53, Faith? I think it's 53 states. 53 states. You making a decision for that many fucking women? I can't wait for one of your fucking mistresses or side bitches or cousins or kids, grandkids to get fucking knocked up so that you can see why it was important for you not to take that decision away. But, furthermore, I just want to end it by saying this. To know that a woman is in a position to be pushing out a baby that could very well be born with no skull, that's hurtful. Hurtful to know that this woman is going to endure that experience and has no control over what she's about to see or feel. And let alone the nightmare she's going to have for the rest of her life. That is fucking emotional baggage. Let me tell you motherfuckers something. You have no fucking clue. Not a clue what it feels like to get rid of a child that you feel like deserves to be here, but let alone you also know that that child doesn't deserve a life of pain and suffering and fucking struggle. It's a toss-up. It is. Being a woman is a tough thing. And I really, 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 really wish, and I not even wish, I hope and pray that you guys find it in your heart to understand that, so it's 50 states. Okay, 50, not Puerto Rico. Whatever. It's just still too many fucking women for you guys to be making a fucking choice on. The aftermath of Roe versus Wade, we're going to continue to see situations where women are going to be forced to do things in the craziest fucking scenarios. Yes, the baby being born with no skull, that's just one. Then there was a 10-year-old who was raped by her mother's boyfriend who was 27 years old and was fucking lucky enough to get a fucking, something from the president. I think he granted permission for this one particular emergency situation for that state because of the scenario with the 10-year-old. And then the doctor that performed the abortion had a lot of issues. There was a lot of backlash on him doing it on a 10-year-old, and he didn't even agree with what they were saying. He disagreed. He admitted to the fact that he was proud that he did his job because he saved a life. The child is important, but the mother's important too. That child is motherless without the mother. If the mother's not right, if she's not in a space to take care of a child, then she shouldn't be forced to, because she's not going to do a good job anyway. You know what I'm saying? So that's like you taking on a responsibility of something that you're not good at, but you're going to try anyway. And you might fail miserably. Why do it? But moving forward.
Facts.
That was just my take on the whole Roe versus Wade aftermath. I know there's more to come. I'm pretty sure we'll pick up this subject again down the line. But right now, it is what it is. If you're a woman, just hold it down, Men, be respectful. Try not to make mistakes because the woman is stuck. And you're stuck. You're stuck. Because trust and believe that, if she can't get rid of it, there's a good chance there's going to be a long line at the child support office. Long line at the family courts. A lot of fights. A lot of everything. Like, come on, man. This is gonna trickle down into like 20 other things,
That is
right?
so true.
But that's neither here nor there. So moving forward, there was that. Faith, what did you see on Instagram that you wanted to mention to me? You wanted my take on a little bit of stuff. Shout out
Y-
to my producer, my manager,
y-
Faith, guys. Give
Yeah,
her a nice,
man.
big
What's up,
big shout out to
everyone?
her. I am Faith Adoring. She's the mastermind behind this whole entire project that is the Chela's Way experience. Remember, saying, don't listen, experience, right?
I
What
wanna
did you want to ask me?
I wanted to ask you your perspective on a couple different topics. So I know
And this
you're
is all in
ready.
regards to social media.
Social media. Everything is in regards to social media.
I know because you're always sending me things in the DM. So I'm like,
Yes,
okay, I feel
because
like
we
she wants
we
my
want to
take on
keep
it.
it like real, like so. One of my questions I wanted to ask your perspective was in regards to the first one I want to talk about is um let's do the R. Kelly fiance,
Oh, Jesus
yeah, Jocelyn.
Christ. What was that? That's not the Azriel. That's Jocelyn, right?
Yeah, right.
Jocelyn.
So the
What's her name?
Shade Room
Savage?
actually did a blog about, you know, I guess the hearsay, not sure if it's true, allegedly. She's the fiance of R.
Oh, yeah, but they
Kelly.
debunked that entire
Yeah,
thing.
but
Remember
she's
they said
saying that
that?
she's having a
Well, first
baby
of all,
by
how could
him.
she have been pregnant unless they had conjugal visits? They weren't married. And they don't do conjugal visits in fucking MDC. Come on, he's in the
Right.
city. Let's talk
So
about it.
let's talk about it.
He's in New
Let's
York City. They not letting nobody go up in there and see
I
that
don't even
man.
think which. Well, from what I just read, I guess they supposed to stored some stuff away, his special ingredients away before he got
Mm.
locked up. So
Oh,
that's
so
how.
you feel like he went and donated sperm just in case.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
No, they said it wasn't true.
Yeah,
She's just a
his
delusional young
attorney is
girl.
saying it isn't true. So what is your perspective on that? You go. Let me know how you feel about that.
Man, listen, I'm surprised R. Kelly even got caught. This nigga been at it so goddamn long. Sheila, I think that R. Kelly's been at it so long. The last thing I expected was for him to get caught. Like, I mean, that tape with him and the girl, like he was eating the booty. They was like Robert, and he turned his back, and then he was like, ah, and
2008,
was eating
like
booty again.
yo,
Then I seen the little
2008.
girl with her little dance routine in the pee, and I was just like, and this was when I was in high school.
Yeah, it goes.
It
I
goes
think
really back.
2008, 2007, a long time ago. Because I think she's in her 30,
Nah, it
30.
was before that.
Oh,
She's been around for a long time.
well,
That
no,
R.
they.
Kelly
I guess the
sexy.
relationship started when she was like 14 or
13.
15.
She was
Yeah, something
13 in
like
that
that.
video.
So I
You know
just
what
think
gets
that's
me
sad.
is like people like R. Kelly that make such great music, like music that really floats people's boat. Step in the Name of Love. We're talking about, you remind me of G. We're talking about like, I Believe I Can Fly. Like he's done some big fucking records,
Yes, he
and to
has.
know that he's a nutball,
He's
like
sick, man. I feel
it's just
sorry for
so
all the
disheartening
victims.
because like I'm not an R. Kelly fan. I like some songs, but I never bought 12 Play, the whole album. I listened to it, of course. My friends always had it and stuff like that. I was more into like other artists, but for the most part, I will tell you this. Like, people like R. Kelly, there's no cure for that disease of perversion. There's no cure for it. You can get all the therapy in the world. I'm telling you, the best thing they ever did for society was make these men register as sex offenders. There is no fixing that behavior. Even if it lies dormant, it will resurface somewhere down the line because it is a hunger. It is a fucking, it is a demon that is inside of them, and it has to be fed. There's nothing that could be done about it. Somebody said every time folks think this country takes a step forward, again, not. Yeah, but we're talking about R. Kelly. I appreciate that. We do get knocked back. We're talking about R. Kelly.
Right.
Um, I feel like, R. Kelly, listen, I need you to stop commenting because I don't want to have to block you. This guy just like harassing. But anyway, that's beside the point. With that being said, R. Kelly, he's got a disease. He's got a fucking pedophile disease, and there's no cure for that shit. So the best place for him is prison. If you want him to stop touching girls, he gonna have to stay there. But
Yeah.
that 30-year sentence, do you think it was steep?
Mm, I think they did what they had to do. I guess I know, like, just
Based
looking
on
at
the
the,
number of charges, that's what it came up to.
yeah,
And I think they were being
it was a
generous.
lot of women that went through, and this is just my perspective. A lot of women went through like some real,
Psychological issues, deep
yeah, and they're gonna be
psychological
needing
issues.
therapy and everything.
Of
So,
course, because that shit left scars. Of course, I don't think they'll ever function within the scene because
yeah,
people don't realize that when you get involved with someone who's a master manipulator like R. Kelly, and he, like, and I say this all the time, and I saw this on Oprah's documentary about Michael Jackson many, like, a couple of years ago. I wasn't happy that Oprah did that documentary, but
yeah,
I watched it.
Michael, yeah,
Now, in watching the documentary, it's the documentary Finding Neverland. In the documentary, she mentioned that, if your abuser is any good, you're gonna feel good. If your manipulator, your abuser knows what they're doing, it's gonna feel good. It won't feel like abuse. It won't feel like manipulation. It won't feel like it would. It's just gonna feel euphoric for you. That's their entire premise, is to be able to ease their way in, but they need to understand who you are, your barriers, and how to break them down. And once they do so, they start soothing you with things that they know you like, and then slowly introduce the things they like. But in order for them to do that, they need comfort from you. They need a common ground to meet you on, so they could, commit the act
he was just sick,
of
and the
whatever it is they
people that
do,
allowed him to do that
molestation,
for
rape,
so
whatever.
long was just sick also. But let's keep it going. I appreciate your perspective on that. You like hit a lot of pointers because that was like one of my questions. But I have a couple other questions, so we don't have long. So I wanted to ask you about what is your take on Tevin Campbell opening up about his, identifying and everything. And shout out to
Here
Shade
we
Room. Chela's
come.
Way Experience podcast shouts out
Oh,
the Shade
minute.
Room with all the great blog topics. So, what do you feel about
He
that?
said, "Girl, I want to know your name." I think he meant boy.
Right.
Uh,
I'm just
now,
glad he's living
I'm
free
not gonna
right
lie. I
now.
loved
I'm
Tevin
glad
Campbell,
he's free. Anybody that come,
but I mean, what do you mean you're glad he's free?
well, because if he's coming out saying that, that means he's being able to be open. He probably was hiding it for so long.
Was he?
I mean, he never
Was
admitted.
he?
I don't know, but
Was he?
if he finally, if this is what he's doing, whatever fits him, I'm happy
No,
for
Faith.
him.
He hasn't been hiding.
Well,
Actually,
he
you
never
guys
just
know the
came out, but
history.
he never came
Listen,
out and said it. But I'm
no,
just
it
like,
doesn't work like that, Faith. Here's how I look at it. If you got caught
oh, you talking about back
committing
then? We're not. No, no.
fellatio or offering fellatio to a police officer, a male police officer, I think that kind of is just like clear cut. You're
Well,
guilty.
no. Listen,
I don't think you needed to
we
announce
know
it because
about
I think
everything that happened back in the day.
right, but
We're
I
talking
think
about now.
but
If
Faith, you
he's
got to understand what I'm saying is the world already knew he was gay when he got arrested and offered to suck a cop's dick. I don't think that him coming out today was like a woohoo.
no, no,
Oh
no,
my
no.
God.
It
Everybody
wasn't
was
a
like, nigga, you
woo,
try to
but
suck
at
nigga dick. Of
least
course
from
you gay. Like,
my perspective, of course we know that that crap was crazy years ago. But my
why
perspective,
do you
I'm
need
just.
and the question is, why do you need an introduction when you already got busted?
I didn't say he needed an introduction.
That's what
I
I'm trying
said,
to tell you.
no,
Like,
you
as
gotta
far
listen. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying within himself as a person, I'm quite sure he feels a lot better now,
Faith,
being able
he's
to come
been
out.
free. He's been
No,
free. That man is fucking lying. That nigga been free. Kevin Campbell has probably been at every gay event ever. That's just like, I'm not buying that. I'm sorry. Like, he's probably trying to reintroduce himself
and
to the
that's what I'm
world.
saying.
Yeah, but there's a music aspect to this. This man is probably releasing new music. I could promise you that nobody in the world is impressed with him coming out today in
And
2022
guess what?
after there's more
I
than
know
one
a lot of
situation
people's
with him
not impressed
offering
by it,
sex to a
but I
man.
can tell you one thing. Even if he's trying to introduce music, I'm all for him being free right now. Be free,
I
Tevin.
never was
Be
against it, but
happy.
I'm just trying to tell you. You asked me what I think about it, and I think that it was a waste. Everybody already knew.
Yeah, of
We didn't
course
need
we
an
already
introduction.
knew.
We
But
just need a
he was
motherfucking
still
concert from
not
that
being
man.
true to himself. So now he's being
Faith,
free.
he's been true to himself. The minute you offer fucking sex, you offered oral sex to a male police officer, I feel like at that point he's already comfortable in his skin, is what I'm saying.
He was
So
still
that's my
hiding it to
next
the
point.
world because he never admitted it.
He didn't have to. He got caught. You don't gotta fucking admit it. You fucking offered fellatio to a male police officer. There is no fucking introduction there.
And
Woohoo! I'm
so
happy for
listen,
him.
and when he
Let your
did
freak
that,
flag
and
fly. I'm with it. But at the end of the day, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna pat you on the back for something you're doing now that we already knew a long time ago.
Daryl,
Congratulations.
shout
Can we get a
out
new
Daryl
song?
C said, ha ha ha.
Can we get a new song? That's all I want to know. Like I knew you was gay, so can we get a song now? That's what I'm saying. And make yourself listen. I don't need no comments from you. Can you stop commenting?
Oh, so this person keep commenting.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't know who he is. Just block him, cause I don't got time for this weird shit. But
Okay, so let's keep it moving. Shout out to Shade Room because they be keeping the bomb topics on the blog. So I got another question. I want your perspective. You ready for this one?
I'm always ready.
Okay. What's your perspective and your intake? I want your intake on Shout Out Hollywood Unlocked. They reported that Crystal Smith reportedly filed for divorce from Neo,
Mhm.
claims he allegedly had a child with another woman during their marriage. What do you feel about run it, run it, run it, run it, run it, run it? Woo!
I like Neo, man. It's
I like
hard for
Neo
me.
too.
I like him. I like his music. I think he is to me exactly what an R&B artist should be. Um, who he is as a man, that's a completely different subject. And I think that the bigger issue here is that people have a hard time separating the celebrity from the person. And I think that the sooner you realize that celebrities are people, the less it would bother you when they fuck up. So I just want to put that out there.
Right.
I have nothing against Neo because the way that I see it is like this: he's not doing anything different than any other man that has money. And with that being said, these women they get with these men thinking that they have what it takes to keep them in line. The super pussy power. I'm doing it right. He's I'm the girl. No, you're just the face of trouble. If anything, you're the poster girl for bullshit. The minute you co-sign and decide to, stand next to these men and hold their arm and red carpet, Instagram, tours, blah blah blah, you take on the responsibility that goes with that because you do know that when you take this person in, they come with fans. They come with fans. So, with that being said, even if he calls you the most beautiful girl in the world, you know that the world is filled with 8 billion people, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of pretty women out there. And even if he doesn't love them, he's going to like them for the moment. Because men think with their eyes and their dick, and then their mind and heart follow after. And that's even if it goes that far, because usually once they nut, they're gone.
Once they
The
nut.
feelings that
I
came
love
with
your
it.
you said once they nut, they're gone.
Yeah, because, remember even the song Reasons? Remember by
Oh,
Earth, Wind, and Fire? A lot of
yes.
people don't remember the lyrics to the song. And
I
I
wish I
always
had
tell
the
people this
video to play it right now.
in the song Reasons, right? I think it was Philip Bailey. He went on to say, like, oh, I'm longing to love you for one night,
Right.
kissing and hugging and holding you tight.
Holding you
Please let me
tight.
love you with all my might. And then he goes on to say, when the reasons disappear, that's when the word love comes into question. Now people starting to wonder, do I really feel that way about you? Or was it just a physical attraction that now manifested and felt like butterflies, but it's really flies, not butterflies, maggots and flies. And then, when it's all said and done, they move on and they repeat and rinse and repeat and rinse and repeat. I like Neil. I really do. And I'm going to continue to say that. I don't have an issue with who he is as a person because I feel like women that date celebrities take on the responsibility of dealing with fuck shit. The same way you take on the positive part, which is the fame, the money, the adoration, you have to know that there's a dark side to everything. I don't.
So I guess my I would say a con my perspective on it is I agree with what you're saying, but I do feel like maybe he should have been honest because he just redid his vows
But
and
we don't
everything.
know if he was or wasn't. We weren't
Yeah, and
there,
that is true. We don't know, but
right?
from
She
what
got to the
they're saying
blogs before
on
he did.
Hollywood Unlocked, she didn't know what was going on, and she
Yeah,
found
but Faith,
out.
you also have to understand the girl hit the blogs before he did. He had no desire to put this out there for the public to know. And to be honest with you, I don't feel like the fucking public should know. I feel like whatever goes on between them goes on between them. Because at the end of the day, it's still not gonna take away from the fact that he's an R&B artist. What, he cheated on you, so what, the label's gonna drop him? Bitch, get the fuck out of here.
No, they're not gonna drop him. He's just gonna drop
Exactly.
some
So
new
what the fuck
music.
are we doing about it? What, you want the whole world to come and be your reinforcement because you got played. Sweetheart, grow the fuck up. Take that shit on the chin, move on with your kids, and get that fucking alimony and child support like everybody else. And that's it. That's it. I'm gonna be honest with you. The reason why I gotta say it like that is because at the end of the day, I've been through real shit. I'm a survivalist. The last thing I'm
Speak
gonna
on it.
fucking worry about is if he did that. All right, cool, but I'm not gonna blast it to the world because guess what? Now you look like Queen Sucker because guess what? Now more niggas that do shit like that are gonna come your way, knowing that you're single. So you open
Oh,
the door for more fuck shit because you ain't gonna get no good honest nigga now. They're gonna be like, oh, she a pushover. That was Neo's girl. I'm coming for her. That's how the world operates. They're not, there's like a very small percentage of decent people that want to do the right thing. Okay, very small percentage. And again, no qualms with the man, no qualms with the girl. I feel like when you put your business on social media, this is the risk involved, and it's great, you know. But with that being said, I want to talk about cultural appropriation. You know, we're gonna go on a commercial break real quick, real quick. And when I come back, we're gonna talk about cultural appropriation.
and
When
shout
is it
out Hollywood
okay?
Unlocked in regards to their a topic in regards to allegedly. We're gonna use the word allegedly. We don't know, but shout out them for this blog talk also. All right, let's go to break. You are back. Chella, what about women's safety?
What?
What about women's safety?
Oh, we're off break already?
Yeah, we off break.
Oh,
You was
I
in
didn't even realize.
your
I'm
phone.
over here
Listen, we
thinking
are
like it's
live,
a real
everyone. So
break
you're
break.
getting Chella with like no chase right now, unfiltered. Go ahead. What do you feel about women's safety?
Oh
What's going
man.
on right now?
Before we get to that, I want to talk about
All right, let's run
cultural
it.
appropriation. Cultural appropriation. You know, a lot of people are coming for people like, oh, you know, this is a tough one for me because there's no way to say it without, ruffling someone's feathers. A lot of people talk about cultural appropriation and they say, oh, people should do what's appropriate for their culture, but then yell or scream and kick about how they're not receiving support from other races, minorities, cultures, etc. But then when a person tries to show it, then they're a vulture. Now, granted, there are culture vultures out there that literally will do everything in their power to perpetuate a culture just so that they can seem versed and gain whatever benefit comes with it. However, what I will tell you is this, you know, what I've noticed is, like Gwen Stefani, for example. For many, many years, she's always adored reggae music. Somebody like me being Caribbean, I appreciate stuff like that. I don't frown on it. I don't, you know why? Because for the longest, it was
Right,
never even acknowledged. So for
right.
someone to actually take the time out and wear the clothes, walk the walk, talk the talk, because they feel like relative to it and it makes them feel good, I'm happy to know that does that for them.
Mhm.
I'm happy to know that. And it's not like she came and tried to change anything. She's just supporting it and she's showing her adoration for the culture. So when people come about and be like, oh, why is she wearing dreads? She's doing too much. Why is she wearing braids? She's doing too much. That's the equivalent of people saying what they say about black girls wearing their hair straight. They saying, oh, we have kinky hair, we should just wear it kinky. White people have straight hair, they should just wear their hair straight and not get it braided. But then when we don't support each other, then there's that kicker. So there's no fucking pleasing anybody. It's always a catch-22. If you're gonna complain about support, understand that you can't want support and then judge so harshly on cultural appropriation. That's just my take on that. I don't care what anyone says. I truly feel like if you want to support a person, if a person isn't gay but they put on a shirt with gay colors because they're supporting their family member or their friend, and then someone turns around and say, "Oh, but you're not gay. Why are you doing that?" Wait a minute. Do you want me to support you or you don't? When is it okay? When is it okay? When is it okay for me to support you? You know, I've seen black and white couples be together, and the black person acts black, and the white person acts white, and they try not to cross each other for the sake of whatever disrespect. But love is supposed to be blind, right? I mean, I would think so. And if love is blind, then
Right, right.
there's no rule on cultural appropriation. That person should be able to delve into that happiness right with you, right in the cultural moment. You know, if you're in your element listening to your music and it's reggae or Afro beats or hip hop, if it's a person who you know is not directly from that culture, they should be able to enjoy it too. Music is universal. These experiences are universal. Let people be. I feel like we go too hard trying to break things down. When you dissect everything every second of the day, how you ever enjoy it? How? Like where do you even have room to enjoy anything when you're constantly picking things apart? You know what I'm saying? With that being said, I think people should learn to enjoy things and let them be. Now, when it goes left, because things have a tendency to go left all the time, it's nature. Humankind fucks up, and that's just what they do. But if they have a tendency to go left, that's when you step in and you do your part as a person of the culture. But if they're not doing anything to hurt you, if they're celebrating it with you, if they're telling you and showing you what they admire most about it, respect that. You know, embrace it. It's warm, it's welcoming. Considering how cold the world was hundreds of years ago when we were getting beaten on our backs and abused and tossed around and sent from island to island because they didn't care for what we were doing. Now that you got people out there that understand and realize that their ancestors made mistakes and they're trying to make up for it. Now, granted, there's a lot of people out there of other cultures that are fucked up and they're not true blue. I get that. Trust and believe. I'm watching it all. But if that's the case, then you make that determination when you get to that bridge. Don't be preemptive about it. That's ignorant. That's ignorant. I celebrate cultures because if I enjoy it, I enjoy it. I don't particularly, try to break anybody down. That's kind of whack to me. You know? But I just wanted to discuss that. Now, women's safety. I don't know if you guys have been watching closely. I saw something on the Shade Room today in regards to a woman who came out and there was a piece of tissue on her door. She proceeded to remove the tissue. Whatever substance was on the tissue, landed on her hand and seeped its way through her skin into her bloodstream, caused acute poisoning. They weren't able to find out what the substance was because there wasn't enough of it to cause severe damage to the point where they were able to get a sample of blood and find out what it was. Usually with arsenic, et cetera, you have to have large amounts for them to find it. But I think it was fentanyl.
Thank God she was with somebody.
She was
thank
with her
God.
husband. She was celebrating her birthday. But then there was another story about a woman who gave money to two girls. They were asking for money. She gave them $1, and they gave her a rose. She insisted on not taking the rose. They were so pressed on giving her this rose. Oh, please, please, please. And she took the rose. She takes it in her car. She's sitting there. She's like, I don't like flowers. I didn't even want it. And then she said, luckily, she looked at it because she saw the urgency with these two girls. Like,
right.
Are you going to accept it? Like, do you want, she kept saying, what is the rush?
Like they was pushing it too much.
Right.
She knew something wasn't right.
They intended to give her this rose for her to smell it.
Yep.
And then in turn, she would probably either die or be drugged to the point where
the snatcher,
was debilitated physically.
Yeah.
And it would have landed her probably in a scenario that she would never have come back from. Sex trafficking is big. It's huge. And I think old ladies are safe because they don't got no use for them. But I think from like fucking 2 years old to like 40, they're going to snatch bitches left and right. And they're going to continue to do so as long as women aren't on the up and up. Let me tell you something. I've seen scenarios where they follow women to their cars and they do these weird things where they're walking on a different side and she's thinking she's just walking to her car. All along, somebody's there waiting, the other guy's there, scouting. Next thing you know, they snatch the woman up there. So whatever. Listen, I'm a firm believer in carrying weapons.
Mhm.
Firm believer. You know why? Because I'd rather go to jail for taking your eye out for you trying to abduct me
Mhm.
than hope and pray that you get arrested for trying to abduct me wherever you
Yeah.
take me. Because there's a good chance you might not find me. So with that being said, I'm gonna take your motherfucking eye out. We gonna go down for the pound.
Yeah,
Because
it's gonna be a
it
it's
ain't
gonna
gonna
be a
fucking be
fight.
easy.
It's
I'm
not
fighting
it's
for
not gonna
my
be easy.
life. You understand? And I think that when women start taking shit more serious, a lot of women feel like they're safe, they're in gated communities, nobody knows where they're at. And I'm gonna give y'all a scenario. If y'all don't know the story of Mercedes Moore, God rest her soul, this month would be 2 years that she passed away. If y'all guys don't know the fucking story of Mercedes Moore, beautiful girl, Instagram model, also a friend of mine. Nice girl. I love Mercedes. And let me tell you
Oh,
something.
rest in peace.
Mercedes Moore had no clue she was being stalked. Not a clue. Not one. Not one. Not even an inkling. Picture that. Picture you're thinking you're living your everyday life, doing what's normal to you, and the whole time you're being watched and you had no idea. You know? It gets scary. How do you protect yourself when you don't even know who's coming after you? You know?
That's very scary. Like
It's
you just
extremely
it's
scary.
like we have to be prepared, like always looking at our surroundings,
Always. 24/7, 365.
you
Listen, I'm
just
going to tell you like this, ladies. Everything around you is a weapon. Everything. You hear me? Everything around you is a weapon. Everything. Okay? I feel like if you're in your car and they're trying to run you down, run them over. Okay? Period. Tell the cops what happened. They tried to run, grab your car, they didn't hit them. Oh, fucking well. Deal with the aftermath later. Live to tell your story, though. Somebody runs up on you, turn around, get crazy. You have the right to, because guess what? You have the right to life. So there's no one out there in the free world on God's green earth that could tell you it's not okay to fight. Deal with the DA later. He'll understand. Because guess what? I don't give a fuck. I will fight for my life and hire a top-notch fucking lawyer, take it to the fucking TVs, and beat that shit.
yeah,
Beat
like
that
that's
shit. Because guess what? I'm going to tell them, that man tried to fucking abduct me. Yeah, I fucking stabbed him up. Yup. And I don't feel not even a lick of sorry. How dare
you
you try to
shouldn't.
take me out of my fucking space and put me somewhere for your benefit? Who the fuck you think you are? Yeah, you deserve
Yeah.
to die.
And what makes his life better than mine's? Like,
Exactly.
you
He's the
know,
abductor. You should be happy I got rid of his ass. The fuck?
yeah, the world is mad, crazy. Like we just gotta be careful, man.
Yeah, we're
Gotta
dealing with
be.
some tough times, some rough times. You know what I'm saying? There's more to come. We're not done yet. I don't think God is done with us. I think that we had to make a hard left for us to understand. And I think people had to lose people. People had to go through painful experiences to understand that no one's exempt. No one's exempt. Everyone has their day. It's sad to say, but these are the facts. These are the facts. And it's unfortunate because I feel like there's still people out there that choose to be blind to the everyday shit. Like I got friends that always like, oh, I don't watch the news. It's stressful.
How can you not watch the
How can you
news?
not watch the news? It's
I've
stressful to
had
watch the
people
news,
tell
but
me
isn't
that
it more
too, and I just
stressful
be
to
like,
know
listen,
that
I
there's
know it's
somebody?
draining, but how can you not want to know what's going on? Like if you don't know what's going on, you don't know
Oh
what
God,
to
I'm too hot
expect.
shirt, y'all. And this is what I'm saying. Are you more afraid being run down on by a stalker or rapist or serial killer, or would you feel better watch? I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, the news can't stress me out because I have a whole process and how I take in information. So I use it when it's needed. I take what I need from it. I don't stress myself out about every element of what I see on the news. I feel like the people that have common sense, they're going to take what they need from it. Oh, somebody said, what are your thoughts on the Cuban lust situation? Cubana lust. Cubana lust. Oh, I saw that on social media. Man, that was rough to see. But like if you guys know about Maya Campbell, remember Faith, Maya Campbell from In the House with LL Cool J?
Yeah,
Pretty Indian
that
looking girl.
yeah, it's really she's been through a
Right.
lot.
She's been through it. Crack is a hell of a drug. You guys have single handedly witnessed multiple celebrities do this drug and just literally wither away little by little, especially the ones that don't get help. Cubana Lust, I hate to say it, but it's a story that I've seen too often. Coming from the world of stripping and bartending and even living in the Bronx, coming from Soundview Projects, like coming from nothing, that's every day to me. Like, Cubana Lust's situation, I could name 10 girls like that. Beautiful, came up, had opportunities, got with the wrong nigga, did the wrong drug, and their life went the wrong way. That's not the first time I've seen that. It just happened that, she's who she is. And that's why it's like, oh my God. But I feel like, listen, no one's exempt. Like I said, God has a plan for us all. The minute you touch something, what comes with that. Like I don't know one person that did crack that looked normal. Do you, Faith? I don't know one. You know anybody that did crack that looks normal?
No, and crack is whack, so they better leave it
Girl,
alone.
I know crack is whack. I'm just saying, do you know anyone who
No,
came back from it and
no,
didn't look like
no.
a
When you look
crackhead?
at that, that's you look at somebody that's like basically saying, "I don't want to look like that. I don't want to." You see what I'm saying?
I remember Sinbad.
Mm.
He did a documentary like years and years ago. And he used to say all the time, he's like, I don't understand young people. He's like, like what would possess you to want to try a drug that makes you look like that? He was like, I just want to know. Like, he was like, yeah, I want my teeth to fall out. I want to be stinky and homeless. And I said to myself, I said, yo, this nigga got a point. And I had to be like all over like 14, 15 when he did that documentary. I don't even know. I was young. But
Yeah, I don't
when I
want to look
think
like
about
that.
it, I'm saying to myself, like, he's right though. Like, why would you look at a person and be like, damn, I gotta try that? And then even Jada Kiss, Fat Joe, they made songs and they talk about like, once that shit fuck you up bad, you got a whole line of people that want to try it. A whole line of people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying to myself, like, okay, so they get high, they do these drugs, their life goes down the drain, and then they start recruiting people to go down the fucking drain with them. And it's like, damn, it's fucked up what happened to Cubana West. Man, totally fucked up. But she's grown. And the minute she tried that drug, she was living that fast life. She made fast decisions. So this is one thing I'm not going to ever do is live impetuously. I'm not impulsive. I'm a thinker. We're all different. Some
Yeah,
people, they just go with the flow and hope that they end up on their feet on the other side. Unfortunately, we all know that that's not always the case. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? You climb the fence hoping the grass is green, and sometimes you land in shit. And that's what happened to Kavana West. Beautiful girl in her time, but she missed the boat. The minute she did what she did, and I wish her the best. I hope she recovers. I highly doubt she'll ever look the same. That's just never gonna
hopefully
happen.
she have
Her
some
time is
family or
gone.
friends or someone that's really in her corner. And
Yeah,
it
I hope
seems like
she
a
has
lot
the
of
support
people
that she
are just
needs.
there when you got the glam and the money. Hopefully someone really supporting her to
That's all
try
she.
to
I mean,
help
right
her to
now,
get the
that's what she needs. She
counseling.
doesn't need
Cause
ridicule from social media,
yeah, you
looking at the
don't need
past and
that.
present
She needs
photos and doing
therapy.
a
She needs
comparison. And saying, I can't believe she went down like this. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. No, what she needs is uplifting
yeah, that's what
affirmation.
she needs.
She needs
Who
uplifting comments, uplifting, just prayer. This girl
see if
needs
you can
help.
snatch her up like
Yeah, like
as a
prayers out
like
to
you
Cubana
really
West.
care
Hopefully
for
she gets
her
the
and
help she
take
needs.
her to go get some type help, and if she doesn't want it, at least you tried as a friend or a family member. I
I mean, I
pray.
don't know how old that photo was. I don't know. I just know
Right,
she.
that's just maybe that's allegedly, maybe it's not true,
No,
but
it's
if
not
it
alleged. It's a
it's true,
fact. But
okay. So
I don't know
if it is
how
true, I
old it
pray that she
is.
has the right family support and them just go get her and
Right,
take her to
but
get some
and then
help instead
again,
of
like I
trying to
said,
talk
Faith,
about
it
her.
might not be recent. It could just be that someone just found it, and then
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Because
Who was the
Instagram is
person? Let
weird,
me
social
see. Who
media is
was the
weird.
person that
Sometimes
brought
they
it
dig
up?
up old shit and they want to revisit it, and next thing you know, they start a whole rant. It's not worth it. But
Oh yeah,
I
it
feel
was
bad
so
for the
shout
guy.
out NGLGND 38. They came up with that question. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
as far as
sad.
women's safety, as far as Roe versus Wade, I think I think I spoke my mind heavily on these topics. You know.
You're doing awesome. Like I'm loving all the topics and your perspective. Like
So let me give y'all a little bit of insight on Chella. I got to get this out the way, now, because I have a good feeling that there's gonna be a whole lot more coming. So I'm gonna say this. Like I'm not new to radio. No, 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 no. If you've been following me for a long time, and I'm talking like 10 plus years, you know what time it is, right? Shout out to 15 MOFE in Jersey, Bayonne. You know what I'm saying? I used to do radio there, and that's when I started back in 2012. And I actually had a lot of people come on that show, a lot of rappers, Fred the Godson, etc. Rest in peace to my homeboy Fred. We miss you. But I've been on this type of time. Then I did some work with Jack Thriller. I did Party Bullshit. I did work with K-Slay on Serial Satellite. I did you know, comfortable being uncomfortable with my homeboy Chance in June. I'm always popping in and out doing work. Um, I'm always going to be this kind of person. I'm always going to want to speak my mind. I'm always going to want to get my thoughts out there. I'm always going to want to share them. You know why? Because I feel like when you have knowledge that is useful to people, instrumental in the decisions that they could make to better themselves, it's up to you to share it. God puts that type of responsibility on you. You are anointed with that because it is your job to help. Some of us have to have, we just have to walk that walk. I've taken that responsibility because I understand it now. It took me a while. I didn't get it at first, but now I'm like, it is my duty to put information out there that is going to enlighten others and possibly not rearrange their thought process, but hopefully plant a seed that will grow something a little bit more useful. Like I said, useful. I would hope that whatever I say is useful to you. I'm not here to manipulate. I don't believe it. Unless it's good manipulation. But you got good manipulation out there. Especially when somebody's in a bad space, if you gotta, weasel them out of that, manipulation is necessary. But I don't like to manipulate. I like to interpret freely and give everyone the option to do so. So I take what I know and I put it out there, and then I kind of leave it open ended and let people decide for themselves. It's not my job to think for you. It's your job to think for yourself. But I will kind of pave a little bit of a way and and then let you dig the rest. And I'm pretty sure you'll be fine. You know why? Because I have faith in people. Regardless of what people say, I have faith in them. Once I see a little bit of good, I know that there's a lot left. You just haven't tapped into it yet. You know what I'm saying? But Chella has been doing this for a very long time. Chella's not new to this. She's true to this. You know what I'm saying? Um, I love radio. I love speaking. I love sharing thoughts. I love, corresponding with people on this level. I feel like it's healthy for us because it allows us to understand that it's okay to take on a challenge. There's nothing wrong with, meeting other minds, especially when it's healthy. People should do more of that. But that's when these, organizations come into play and things of that nature. People start to realize that they're all on the same wavelength, and then they kind of just grow upward together. You know, it's a beautiful thing to watch. I kind of have it with a lot of my friends, and I appreciate the ones that call me for that solid advice because they know I'm never going to steer them wrong. I'm going to always be in their corner, like a boxer. But Chella's been at it for a while. This is Chella. Chella's on Instagram, The Real Chella's Way. Chella's on Facebook, Chella's Way. Chella's on Twitter, The Real Chella. I'm on everything, but now guess what? I'm on Facebook, Patreon, Spotify, YouTube, Twitch. We're taking it to another level because it's time for common sense to reign. And I don't mean reign like RAIN. I mean reign like REIGN, like take over. Don't you think that, Faith? We need to start really utilizing common sense.
You already doing it. You already about to do it. It's about to go down. Like people
You're
don't
low,
even.
baby. You're low.
Yeah, they don't even have a clue. Like I want to
Yeah.
shout out all all the fans that came that tuned in tonight with their comments. So everybody will be able to go back and see their comments. But I do want to go to a quick little break, right quick, a commercial break for you before we end the show. Give me one moment.
I think we're gonna give him like another 15, 20 minutes of good conversation.
I'm with that.
Because I want to go into a little bit of relationship shit before we
And
end.
I got
And
something
then I
else,
want to
something else.
introduce my guest for next week.
I like that. Give me 1 second. Let's go to break. Commercial break, because you got to get paid. See, that was quick.
That wasn't even a pee break. That was a spit break. So there was something you wanted to show me, Faith. What was it?
Yes. So, early on you was talking about when I asked you your perspective
Hmm.
in regards to the topic that was on the shade room. Shout out the shade room in regard. No, not the shade room.
Hollywood
Hollywood
Unlocked.
Unlocked. Shout out them in regards to the intake on Crystal and Neo. So I got this clip that I thought would be useful for tonight. I
Share,
want
please do. Please do
Yeah, I
share.
want your perspective. So it's three
Mm.
different parts. So your followers and everyone that's tuned in tonight would be able to tune in. We want to get your perspective. I don't want nobody to be shy. You see, Chella does not. She comes
I can't
unfiltered.
hold back,
She's
man.
not going to hold back. And
I
as y'all
can't hold back.
see, I
That's
want
why
y'all
I
to
wore my True Black
understand
shirt
this.
tonight. Did you see,
A
Faith?
great podcast.
I wore
You
Tupac shirt
actually
tonight to show my rebelliousness.
Right. But I want to let the viewers know also. You see how me and Chella, you're not going to always agree. Everybody's going to have a different perspective.
We can't disagree, Faith. How long have we been down together? It's been
We're
some
going to
years
always
now.
disagree to agree because we love each other.
But
But
how long
we,
we been down, Faith? Tell the
oh my
world.
gosh,
When did you first email me or hit me on Instagram?
maybe over 10 years. We just been moving quiet,
It's
making money
been many
behind the
years. Like, let me tell
scenes.
you something. If you guys ever wanted to know, like, who was getting me all those endorsements when I did like flat tummy tea, this, that, what was it? Fucking the sex toy romantic, not as some shit. I don't fucking know. I don't
Look,
remember.
don't let them
I've
know.
done
Don't
so
let them know.
many.
Look, let's keep it quiet. Let's keep it quiet. Hush,
Faith
hush.
brought them my way, guys. That's why. Listen to me. A lot of people might say this, like, oh, like you're gonna climb, you're gonna grow, you're gonna be hot, like you gotta get with this manager or that manager. Let me tell you something.
We've been
Loyalty is
together through the
everything.
bad and good, like just moving quiet.
Loyalty is
People don't
everything
even
to
know.
me.
Loyalty
If
is
you know
everything.
me, Faith, if
I know
anybody knows
you,
me, y'all
and
know
you know
I'm
me.
built off of
Yeah.
loyalty. I could care less. I do get the benefit of being with someone who has the know-how and the ability and plugs and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, you can fix you. I mean, there's always room for everything. But don't get rid of your team. Like,
Yeah. The
don't get rid
ones
of
that
your
been with you
team.
from the
Like, you know what I'm
beginning.
saying? Faith, that's my dog. Like, you know what I'm
We
saying?
go
Faith been
back
one of my
way over
dogs.
10 years and nobody would even know, like, all
Oh
the
my God,
bad and
Faith,
good that I went
let's
through. The
fucking
stuff that I've been
Blueface.
through just with,
Faith,
we're more like
Blueface.
sisters. We're really more like sisters, like long distance sisters that don't get to see each other, but we make
I've
money.
never seen Faith in person.
We
Can
get
you
to make
believe that?
money. Yes, we make
But
money
we talk
together.
every day, like friends and
Yes,
sisters, and I
bookings.
feel like I don't need to see her because I'm gonna know her when I see her, so it's fine.
Yeah, we, but we
But listen,
but
Faith,
we talk about
before we go,
everything. Like we talk about everything. Everything that I've been through. I
bitch, I
know
tell you everything. I'm
everything.
like, Faith, let me tell you about this motherfucker.
Yes, and listen, exactly. It's freaking amazing. It's
It is.
amazing.
It's a
It's
pleasure
amazing.
knowing her. I gotta say that, guys. If you guys aren't following her, please. And for the most part, if you're looking to start your own podcast, if you're looking for media promotion, if you're looking for a media package, Faith is the person for that.
I pre-
She literally has made every post that you guys are seeing on my social media, everything. Now,
the
granted, we
graphics and stuff.
correspond with each other in terms of how we make it, but she has the know-how. So if you
And
guys need
I
help
wanna
with
and I'm
that,
glad
she
you
is the
brought
girl
this up,
for that.
Chella. I'm gonna show the relationship video, But it's funny that you said when you're
I wanted to
bringing
talk
up.
about Blueface real quick.
We're gonna talk about that too. You
Yeah,
got
let's
time
go
to
into
talk about
Blueface
whatever.
last
Listen,
after we
we
talk
can go
about
through
this.
we can go to 11 o'clock. I don't care. I'm on this rodeo with you. So, but I want to just say this right quick because when you brought
Hmm.
up our relationship, right? I'm
Hmm.
glad you did because it was something on my mind and I forgot to mention it early on. So it was some dialogue that Kevin Hart was speaking about our culture is fucked up more than anybody else. He was speaking about how people allow their ego to ruin relationships and financial opportunities. And look
Oh,
how yeah,
but
when he
that's been
spoke
going on for centuries. I
for
don't think,
centuries.
like,
And people just and when you were just talking about our relationship, like we get money, we're there for each other. We've never let our egos get involved with stuff, and it's amazing he said that because there's a lot of people telling you no, that's a fact.
well, I'm being honest with you, and I think here's the problem. The most successful people like Elon Musk, just to name a few, Warren Buffett, fucking Bill Gates, uh, Hove, even for instance, if you want to go into black culture, all of these men, LeBron James, everybody I mentioned that's like highly successful. I'm talking about like in the billions. They're doing well. They don't need no fucking help. Even if shit was to crash, they got a whole lifetime of money. I say that to say this. I say that, they have kind of taught people to believe that, it's okay to leave people behind if it's not pushing you forward, right? But sometimes, just sometimes, you and your team might have a slight hiccup. Just that, every now and again, you guys are going to face instances where you guys are going to test each other's loyalty. If you don't wait till the end of that test, how do you know they were there or not? You're so quick to dismiss. And I think that, these
Yeah,
wealthy people kind of always remind everyone it's okay to leave people behind.
yeah,
So with that being said,
yeah.
the
People do.
money
Certain
brings the
people do have
ego.
an expiration date.
Exactly. So when you teach people that it's okay to leave people behind when you're moving on to your next phase of life and success, people are going to think that that is the formula to success. It's not like we live in a time where people really think for themselves. Everything's monkey see, monkey do. The Me Too movement, you know, it's not just like positive. The Me Too movement, I call it a Me Too movement because everybody sees someone doing something. They're like, oh, I'm going to do that. Me too. They move on and they follow this person's footsteps. That person's situation might not work for you. That's their shoes. You fit yours. You might not even be able to walk a mile in those shoes because you might not fit them.
Yeah,
And I just feel like, everyone's scenario is different. And I think everyone deserves a fair shot. I think that if you came in with a set of friends, and yes, granted they double cross people because look at what happened to Lil TJ. Those are his friends that set him up and shot him up like that. So I don't
oh
even want to make it
wow,
seem like it's not possible. Your friends will
yeah.
fucking double cross you.
Oh, listen,
I know for myself because
I've
I had
been,
it with my friends.
and me
I've
too.
had
Like,
friends over 15 years that
speak
showed
on
me,
20 years for me, so I know it and
yeah,
it hit
like, you
home.
get to see
Like,
who people really are. It's unfortunate. But
you
I
know,
think that let the extreme happen before you make a solid decision to cut people off because people always have the ability to change.
but what gets me is when they want to, act crazy, but when they see everything going a certain way, then they want
Oh,
to
of
try to
course.
come
No, no,
back and
no. With that
hit you
being said,
back
I
up,
get
be
it.
like, oh,
I get it.
hey,
It's totally.
I just want to, oh, this person is not speaking to me now. Well, tell the reason why we're not talking. You
Right.
know,
But you see, that's what I'm saying. Not all the time is it something that some relationships with friends when they go left are irreparable. The damage is irreparable. I don't think for a second that every single scenario is like that. Sometimes people make mistakes and they don't realize that they even crossed you. I think there's so many dynamics to a mistake. I think there's also so many dynamics to intent. So the question is here: can you tell the difference between intent and a mistake?
yeah,
Now, when you make this decision, please don't do it off of emotions. Don't
yeah,
don't do it off of emotions because if you do it emotionally, remember the emotions are temporary.
yeah.
You'll feel different tomorrow. And the day after that, and the day after that, I
You
give myself
cannot
a
be in your
72
emotions or
hour.
your ego to ruin a relationship. You just cannot, you
Yeah,
know.
this is why I remove emotions now. It's hard to do it, but I'm telling you, when you practice that technique, it gives you a logical
But me and you are different
result.
also. I think because of our upbringing and
Hmm.
you know, like we don't think average. You know what I'm saying? Like and I think that plays a lot to do with it, because people that really do a lot of their reactions on the emotions and ego, they're dealing with a lot of deceit. They had deceit the whole
I
time.
mean,
And
but then you're talking about, people that are ridden with trauma. That's different.
well,
Like
some
trauma,
people
of
might
course.
have trauma. They might be dealing with trauma from, a child. Some
Right, but
people
if you
just
got
got
someone who
they're
has
just messed up
no,
people, Chella. They
right,
just
but
hid their
in
mask for a
order for
long
you to
time.
get past trauma, you have to know how to navigate through your
And a
emotions.
lot of people don't know how.
But this is what I'm saying. Once you practice, keyword practice, you got to practice it. It takes time. Practice waiting till you have the opportunity to think clearly and then make a decision. It's a tough fucking thing to do, but I'm telling you, sit on those feelings. Sit on them.
Yes.
Sit
And
on
if you
those
feel
feelings,
like you
sit
need
on those
therapy, I'm
thoughts.
an advocate on
Give
to go get
yourself time.
therapy.
It's almost like
Yeah.
a running faucet and the water going down the drain. All these emotions, they disappear. They
They
do.
do. And don't
And
lose
then
out
when you
on
make a
someone that's been in
decision
your
off of
corner for
impulse,
15 years behind your ego. Somebody been in your corner for 15, 20 years and you let your ego and your emotions get in the way. Just try to
no,
think
no, no.
about it.
Listen, I'm not doubting that for a second. What I'm saying is, though,
Oh no, I know you're not
people,
doubting. I'm just basically using it as a scenario.
you're being unfair to your fucking self when you
Yeah.
don't give yourself the opportunity to process your fucking feelings. Is what I'm fucking trying to put out there to the world. Give yourself time to process your thoughts. Don't make a brash decision because guess what? You don't know what the result might be of whatever happened the next day. I give myself 72 hours, 3 days
That's
to delve
awesome.
in my feelings. I get it all out. I kick, scream, punch, curse, violate. 72 fucking hours of my life. That's even a lot to give. But
Yes.
guess what? We're human. We need time. But after 72 hours, I let it go and I move on. Because I'm not holding on to this. Now I already come to my conclusion after the 72-hour period. If it leaves me with an opportunity to say, okay, there's room to fix this, then I'll do so.
We appreciate you, Freddie. Thank you.
Um,
He said he really
I do.
enjoyed the podcast. But so
You know,
let me show this video right quick.
okay,
Chella,
go
I
ahead,
want
show
your
the video.
perspective. You got the floor right now. I'm gonna show the video.
Yeah.
Into definition. Who told us that was cheating? Where did that idea come from that that's cheating? A man who has two women, that's not necessarily a mistress. That's just his other woman. Now we got two choices. We can be the woman or the other woman. We don't have but those two. And I'm not saying that a lot of men are not just running around. I'm not talking about that. But if a woman finds out that her man has been with a woman while she's been with him for 3 or 4 or 5 years, that's commitment and relationship. And if it hasn't taken anything from me, if I'm not going short of anything, and if this is what he thinks his responsibility is, then what kind of hell are you going to go through to prevent that? Since we cannot stop him. Now, I know we don't like that. I don't like that. But that's the reality of our life at some point. But every man doesn't want two women, but those that do, they're going to do it.
What about our morals and our religion?
Whose religion? Whose morals? So whose idea are you representing when
And our religion.
Whose religion? Whose morals? So whose idea are you representing when you stand up for those values? Not ours. Somebody else's. And it may work for them. But it doesn't work for us. It hasn't worked for anybody, really. But nobody wants to deal with the truth. Monogamy was only created because of the economics of it.
The floor is yours.
I'm always,
Da.
let me tell you something. I speak openly, I speak candidly, I speak honestly, and I try to speak positively. I saw what was it, like a clip from something of a woman saying that, men that were king, this is their kings, they should be entitled to dating multiple women. Is this like the equivalent of that, right, Faith? Right?
Okay, what you say now?
There was a clip going around on Instagram of a woman saying, a young girl, was it natural somebody? She was saying that men that are kings should be entitled to dating multiple women because,
Oh
that's what men
yeah,
who are
I don't
kings,
know her IG. I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah, 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 yeah.
natural nay or somebody like that.
Natural,
Natural
something like
something, it
that.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, natural. Yeah, she was talking about men. They're kings. They supposed to have, more than
All
one
right, so
woman.
so so this kind of goes hand in hand with what, we just watched. Um, I don't entirely agree.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is with me, even when there's disagreement, there still has to be a level of respect for someone else's decision. I don't entirely respect the fact that the woman is saying that, men are going to cheat regardless of what. So as long as you're not losing anything in the interim, don't interrupt. That's basically what she's trying to say, right? Faith?
Yeah,
So
basically.
she's trying to, this is
There,
what she's
yeah,
trying to
that's what she's
imply, if
saying.
I'm not
She's saying
mistaken,
that
correct?
they are supposed to, that's what they do, just,
She's
don't
just trying to
interrupt
say,
it.
like, if it's not directly affecting everything in your personal life, in how you function financially or whatever, then there's nothing to really be concerned with. That's
And when
what
the
she's
video,
trying to
she said,
imply,
because you
right?
can't do nothing about it.
Right. That's what she's saying. Like, like if you can't beat them, join them.
Right.
Pretty much. Can't beat them, join them. You want to join them with AIDS?
Right.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm just being me.
And join with all the
You
other
gonna join them with
crazy
AIDS?
mess that's out here right
You know what I'm
now.
saying? Like, I'm just saying, like, how much are you going to take before it puts you in a situation that you can't come back from? Now, I get it. Some women are tolerant of men cheating. They understand it. Like we mentioned Blueface, and I kept saying earlier, who sleeps with his
Right.
baby mother and still sleeps with Krishan Rock, along with probably a host of other women. He's probably got a fucking harem. I mean, he had a
Yeah.
show, and that's how she ended up meeting him. And the
Yeah.
thing about it is, I do agree with the woman to some extent. There's no control there. These men, they're so comfortable and they've been living their lives in this manner for so long. To break that habit, you know how hard that is? That's like teaching an old dog new tricks. Man, fuck that dog. Get a new dog, get a puppy. Start over. Oh man, it sucks because I know there's so many women that feel like they've been backed into a corner, and they have no choice but to kind of deal with what's in front of them, especially if they've been living a life of comfort. That's when the
Right.
shit becomes an issue, Faye. Most of these women, they're living a life of comfort and they choose not to break the chain because they know if they speak up about how they're being hurt emotionally, they might lose the financial backing and the physical backing, which is if they have good sex, there's money being spent, things of that nature. Their children
Yeah.
are being affected. They don't want the children to be fatherless. I mean, you have people that hold on to relationships for various reasons.
Yeah.
So I can't fault anyone for why they choose to keep the pieces together because that's only their story, not mine.
Right.
What I will tell you is this, like you're playing with fire when you allow a person to go to the park and come back and play with you dirty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
You're
saying?
doing
That's
that so
like
they
letting your
won't leave
children
you,
go in the park and get dirty and lay in the bed with the same clothes on. It's the equivalent of that. I don't care what anyone says. It literally is. I mean, if you want to speak metaphorically or figuratively, it is. But do I agree? Are they miserably comfortable? Of course. Of course, I think there's a percentage that aren't affected because they don't care and they know what the benefits are and they choose to continue taking those benefits and probably limit things within their household and their personal life that we don't know about. Then there's
Mm-hmm.
women that probably take it all on the chin and keep going and get the bad end of that stick. Then there's women
But I will say this, I
that
don't
do it
feel.
just for John Q. Public. Like, they're
What
not really
about
in it to
how?
win
What
it. They're
about
just
this,
there.
Chella? What about how they? Do you feel like it's okay for the woman to blame the other woman?
Nah.
Especially when men are not being
Nah, but I
honest.
mean, there are scenarios. Like, say, for instance, like, if you think about, remember the movie Soul Food, like, where the cousin, like, directly went after the guy knowing
Yeah,
that the
something
guy
like
was,
that. That's different. But somebody that don't
yes,
know,
in
because
that instance, you have the
sometimes
right to
the
blame a woman.
men do lie. Sometimes they're very, transparent. I respect the men that are transparent. But if you're not being honest, then that's the issue, because now you can't call somebody crazy when you're not being honest.
No, I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that in some instances, there are women that
Oh
provoke.
no, that, yeah, like what you said
That
was
will,
soulful.
they will. And
Exactly.
now, granted, the man should know better, but there are women that have no respect
Yeah,
for the
no,
other
you
woman knowing she exists. So that's when it comes into play. And I feel like a bitch, it's
exactly.
okay to run up in her mouth at that point. But yeah, the responsibility is kind of always on the man because, the act can't be committed without two parties involved.
Two parties, yeah.
It sucks because I understand exactly what she's saying. Why bother stressing yourself out? Why drive yourself crazy? Why put yourself in a space of emotional distress over something you can't control? But I do
Right.
understand the other woman's take that's doing the interview. She's conducting the interview and she's telling her, what about your moral values? What about your religion?
Right. Right.
You have the right to speak up and say what it is you feel you deserve as a woman. I think all of it plays a part in what
Everybody
needs
just
to
need to be
be.
transparent. Be honest, what you want, what you don't want,
We're
and
asking for a lot. We're asking for a lot, but we do that because we live in an era of lies.
nah, be transparent to me. Let me know. Give me a
Unfortunately, I
choice.
really, really
I want
wish
a
that was the
choice.
case, but I highly doubt that.
Yeah,
Come
yeah, it's
on, like,
not, because
listen to
you
me.
got a lot of men that's not going to be honest. But shout out to the men that's very honest, because it makes a big difference. Everybody has a choice.
It does, but it's also, even with honesty, there's still lack of respect for you.
That is
When a
true.
man tells you he cheated, it not all the time is it just honesty. Sometimes it's just blatant
No,
disrespect.
no, no. When I'm saying transparent, Chella, I'm talking about, if you want to be with somebody else, be honest. So
Right, but
somebody,
sometimes these men don't want to be
right? We
with.
know that. We know they
They
don't
just
want to be
want to
honest.
physically do what they do. They don't want to always be
Yeah, they
like
don't, because
emotionally
they don't want
involved.
to lose A and
Right, like
B.
some men are weird. Like, they have an emotional attachment to whoever they have it to, and then physically, sexually, they find themselves playing
Oh,
around
somebody
with.
said, you know the deal.
uh I don't know who that is, but I guess. Right.
I guess we know the deal.
I mean, I guess if you have to break it down to a spaceless fucking element, then yeah, we
Yeah.
do. We know that 90 fucking percent of men operate in the same fashion as long as
And
they
they're
ain't got no
not,
sexual, right?
not going to be honest. That's why, you got to figure out who you're going to fault. You can't always fault the woman. If
Listen, I want to go into Blueface.
hit Blueface, what's up with
Let's
that?
talk about Blueface. Fucking Blueface, man. I never
Oh,
liked him
okay.
as a
Hold
rapper.
on. I know you said that, but somebody want to ask you this question right quick.
There are women who know that the man is married and just don't care. How do you feel about those type of women? Again, I'm gonna take it back to a space where it's okay to run up in their fucking mouth. You know why? Because if you know a man is married and you still move forward to try to pursue him, his wife has every right to fuck you up.
Right.
Fuck you right the fuck up. And I'm talking about hands, feet, all that. You know why? Because how dare you come and try to break up a household intentionally? Bitch, are you out your fucking mind? You know how much fucking work I put into this motherfucker? You ain't gonna fucking come here and try to fuck up my shit. Especially when I've been trying to mold this weak son of a bitch since the door. Like, fuck out of here. I will beat your ass. Period.
On Mary had a little lamb.
Mary had a little man.
Okay, so, and somebody else wants to bring this up. You see
Case
it,
in
right?
point. Irv. Irv fucking got it.
I don't know who it is. They brought the topic up.
All right, let's touch
What's
it
your
real
take
quick.
on it?
You know, man, listen. I saw Ashanti's feet. I don't even feel sorry. Now, I'm just playing. Them feet was fucked up though. Them shits was like, it's with a strap. It looked just like this. That was how the shoe looked, and I'll show y'all a picture. It was just like this. Beautiful, gorgeous woman, but the feet was like this. Eagle's claw. I was like, wow, beautiful. Got, Glen Cove, Long Island, but got feet from Third Avenue. Girl, I was like,
You don't
wow.
think it was Photoshop?
No, bitch, ain't nobody photoshopped them fucking feet. They should
I
have
like Ashanti. It was
photoshopped them
probably
feet.
Photoshopped.
Them feet was like she went on vacation 3 weeks ago and never got her toes done since. They was literally
I
Third
got to
Avenue
see
feet.
that. I think somebody probably Photoshopped that.
Nobody photoshopped that shit, face. I'm giving the girl some goddamn credit. But Ashanti, a beautiful girl, not the best singer, but
I
made
like
a lot of
Ashanti.
hits.
Shout out Ashanti. I love her.
Beautiful
Her
girl, though.
mom is
Beautiful.
awesome.
Listen, Faith, I'm calling it how I call it.
No,
Beautiful
you
girl,
got to. Listen,
but
you
I've
had
never
to.
been a fan of her music, and I don't think she's talented. I think Irv Gotti was the engine in the project that was Murder Inc. Period.
Right.
I don't give a fuck what no one says. He was the fucking alternator, the engine, the gas. You know what I'm saying? That made Murder Inc. what it was. Do I think what he said was right to bring it up all these years later? Probably not, but
I don't. I wish
scars
he
are
would.
scars. When do they ever really heal? He's hurt by that. He's just an obnoxious son of a bitch. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? I don't think he woke up today being obnoxious.
Oh no, he been hurt behind that for
He's
20
been
years.
obnoxious.
Well, you know the man, they don't like when the woman get away.
That's not what I'm trying to say. Scratch that. I don't give a
Okay.
fuck about how she hurt him. I'm talking about he is who he's been. He didn't just wake up this way.
Oh yeah, no, he's been like that.
Right. So with that being said, now let's go here. Left. Like we always do. Hard left. Bitch, you knew what you were signing up for. You knew what kind of motherfucking big mouth son of a bitch he was when you got with him. You knew he was also in a relationship, but you cared about your career. And those promises weren't empty. They were fulfilled. That girl was successful for a long time. Murder Inc. had a successful fucking run before 50 came and poked a hole in the boat.
So you think 50 really played a part in that?
Of course. He was the fucking direct demise of Murder Inc. As soon as he came in the game, he did everything in the
50
in
did
his
not
power
play
to let-
no games coming in the game. And even now, he's still on top.
But
Shout out to
that's beside
50.
the point. We're talking about Ashanti and Irv.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is this. Irv Gotti wasn't right for what he said. Of course, you shouldn't come and bash someone 20 years later. That's lame.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
You know, and then to do it publicly and to make a documentary in regards to it, it's not even just disrespectful to Ashanti. It's disrespectful to the woman that he was with while he was fucking with Ashanti.
Yeah.
Because now you're perpetuating a scenario. Now, no, perpetuating is the wrong word because it really happened. You're now discussing what you did behind your wife's back the entire fucking time. You think that feels good for her to know, considering the fact
to
that
let the
she
whole
didn't even
world
fucking
know?
know you were doing it.
Yeah.
And now here you are publicly 20 years later making a documentary about it. Now, granted, they're probably over. She don't care. But it's still disrespectful. You know, nobody wants to be cheated on and then it's talked about.
I'm just like this. Don't kiss and tell.
Of course, but these are celebrities who have went from A-list to D-list and they're looking for a dollar. Faith, come on, let's call it what it is. Irv Gotti don't got the money he used to have. He has to talk about shit that seems juicy so that he can remain relevant. That is the formula here. It ain't really just about Ashanti and how he feels. It's more so about the fact that that man is pushing a documentary, so he needed to reintroduce a juicy subject.
And I think that's what he said
skate
too.
on this shit. I'm not stupid. I know how this goes. We've all been in, well, not all of us, but the ones that have been in the industry know. There's a formula to it.
It's a formula, and it's a formula they're gonna follow to see if they can
Ashanti
get those likes.
was hiding in the woodworks until Versus pulled her out to do that fucking Versus with Keisha Cole, and now she's all over everything, right? This is a girl who we didn't even hear from for years. We didn't even know the bitch was alive. Like, go on, you know. So I feel like everyone has their media moment, you know, where they start putting things out there and hope for, you know, the positive response. I do feel bad that he did that, but I also have to understand that, you know, we have to take accountability with who we fuck with. If a nigga's a bitch mouth, he's a bitch mouth from the door. Then trust and believe if he's a bitch mouth with his friends, a bitch mouth with the girls he's dated prior to you, he's gonna be a bitch mouth with you. You're not exempt, bitch. Are you stupid? Come on, man. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's take accountability so that we can, you know, glow and grow. You know?
Shout it out. Shout it out.
That's what it is, man. It's just, it is
Real
what it is.
shit.
It is what it is. But
what we got next week? What's going on next week? Let's talk about what's going on next week.
Fucking lit. So shout out to TMZ Loopy. He'll be joining me next week, Thursday. Shout out to Mojo Brooks. I don't know if y'all guys know who these men are. Shout out to Julie Mango. Now I'm gonna break it down really quick. Julie Mango at I Am Julie Mango, Caribbean comedian. She's from Jamaica. Super funny, and I've never seen anyone that can emulate what it was like growing up in a Jamaican household more than she does. Now, granted, of course, a lot of people do it, but she does it well. This
Mhm.
girl knows how to take you in a time machine and leave you there, and you'll just
I'm
laugh
so excited. I
yourself off.
can't wait for her to
I
come on the
can't wait to have
show.
her too.
Like,
And
that's
we're
gonna
going to
be
discuss some
awesome.
things in regards to mental health. TMZ Loopy, same thing. My boy from the Bronx, Fordham Road, has a lot of stories to tell. And he wants to definitely discuss what it's like being an Instagram comedian. He's blowing up on TikTok. You know, if y'all guys know about him and Labori, you know, shout out to Loopy, Puerto Rican dude. He's true to his culture and a funny motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he's coming with me. He'll be here with me next week along with Julie Mango and Mojo Brooks. If you guys know, he's the one that does the Ring doorbell. Stop playing me steak. Open the door,
Oh my
spin. You know what
God.
I'm saying?
Oh yes.
And he's
Okay.
working on a lot of upcoming
You got
projects.
some
So I
heat
look,
coming in. You got some heat coming in.
yeah. And then we got more substantial guests coming. You know, and I consider every guest substantial. You know why? Because they're
Exactly.
all doing their own thing to,
All great
you know,
influences
succeed
doing
in
their own
life.
thing,
And I'm
talents.
and I'm grateful that they're even willing to share these moments with me and vice versa. So, you know, shout out to TMZ Loopy, shout out to Mojo Brooks, shout out to Julie Mango. They'll be here next week. Make sure you guys tune in 9 p.m. The Chela's Way Experience. Shout out to Faith and Dawn. Shout out to everybody tuning in tonight. Be gone. Have a good one.
Hey, listen, we just want to tell everybody tune in. We're here.
Bye,
Follow
guys.
everybody.
Faith,
I'm
gotta
out.
go.
We out. Bye
I
bye.
said
See you
bye.
later.